right, they're cartoons. They're for kids. Remember, you're an adult. Yeah, I hate drama. We're in the convention community. It happens. Yeah. And remember, they're just cartoons. They're cartoons. Come on, guys. They're fun. Have fun with it, but
there's no reason to like get into a funk and get all bent out of shape over something that it's a cartoon, really. Seriously.
But have fun with it.
I have seen serious arguments over such and such, and I'm like,
exactly.
what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. What's the point? What does this accomplish?
Is your life that pathetic? To kill that character.
Well, arguing with somebody
for a lot of
at anime conventions, like arguing on the internet, is like winning the Special Olympics. All right, I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Yeah. So the remember they're just cartoons. That's an important theme we're gonna reinforce throughout the remainder of the panel.
It was supposed to be a footer on every slide.
Yeah, but you know what? I screwed this up. So
no, you're fine. Giving back. This is one of my favorite things. You've been a fan for more than 10 years. How many of you really like Gundam? Like, really like Gundam? Have you seen, like, every Gundam series?
Absolutely.
And you know about Anno, and you know about
I've only seen one.
All right?
Thank you.
Go run a Gundam panel. Find a small first-year show and say, hey, I know a lot about Gundam, and I want to run a panel. They will love you to death.
Yep.
I got forums.
Oh, I'm sorry?
I got forums.
You got a forum? Yeah?
Yeah, forums are good.
Go run a panel at a comic. I really cannot stress highly enough how much fun this is sitting up here in a room full of you guys. And people are listening.
I will find that out tomorrow because my first.
I'll find out next year.
Yeah, it happens.
I want to do
So, ways to
would
get back
still
are
be
run
there.
panels for the sake of helping the community and not for profit. Some panelists like to ask for free artist alley tables, free dealer spots, all sorts of craziness for doing panels. You get a free badge to the show if you run them. If you know enough about cartoons to run a panel, you go to every show you want for free.
Yeah, this like here. I think it's 4. If you do 4 hours of panels,
3 hours worth of panels.
3 hours.
And you get a cool presenter badge, looks like you get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
And it's a run around the
That's an
convention.
MTAC secret staffer.
Yeah.
Panel on us.
I get to skip lines with this staff.
Yeah, presenter badges pretty much let you skip lines because people don't know whether or not you're actually supposed to be in that panel. Press does the same thing. Or telling secrets now. So be a panelist. It's a lot of fun.
Or volunteer.
Or volunteer, right? Go help.
They get more priority.
Staffing a convention is after become part of a podcast or a blog or a forum, become a hardcore contributing member. Help out those younger fans that are seeking out more resources. It's really fulfilling when they go, hey, I've never seen this, and you go, hey, my smoking habit's older than you, but watch this cartoon. And they come back and go, wow, that's really neat. It's like Pla, and you go, hey, yeah, that's where that archetype for that character came from. And you can help them, draw that inference. But when you ask kids, hey, have you seen GTO? And they go, what's that? And you go, I hate my life. That's one of those things that you're going to have to get used to.
And that actually happened to us not too long ago.
Yeah, we were promoting at a show in Tuscaloosa, and we showed the OAV prequel to GTO, and kids are like, what's this? And we're like, it's prequel to GTO, and they're like, what's GTO? And I was like, staff a convention at a high level. So
that's a special masochism.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you understand responsibility a little more. You can show up to things on time. You can be trusted with boxes of expensive stuff. Get into it. Be an assistant director. Work operations. Help nurture the younger kids. Help run staffing. If you're a manager during the day at work, go be a manager at a convention. They'll love you forever.
Especially if you do it well. Because there's a lot of conventions where they do not run it well, and the staffings are rude as hell, and you're like, who the hell is your boss? Because they're not doing their job.
Be open.
And it makes us everybody in the convention miserable, and then those people won't come back.
Yeah,
exactly. Be open to nurturing the younger generations of fans that are, just, hey, it's my first. I know plenty of people. It's always somebody's first convention, even staffing, right? So if you've been to a lot of these, find the younger fans, help them along. It helps a lot. I've got a bunch of friends.
First-year staffers this year, so
yeah. I remember when I started going to anime conventions, AWA 6, I met some older guys that live in Columbia, Tennessee, and I'm still friends with them to this day. And they showed me kind of what a convention is and what's going on. It's really cool. You make lifelong friends, and you get to watch little kids grow up. It's creepy because they like the old stuff, and then they start talking about new stuff, and you know what? It's a lot of fun, and become a contributing member of the forum. We've already been there. Can you tell we run a show? Get back to shows. Looking forwards to go backwards. Drew, you want to go forward?
Sure.
Backwards.
Looking backwards to go forward. Yes.
Yeah.
So please do not walk down the hallways backwards.
That's important. So I kind of hit a rut in my personal fandom after I'd been in for 10, 11 years, where a lot of the stuff that was coming out new in Japan, I was just watching, like, no, this is garbage, this is garbage, what's happened to you, Japan? Where's all the good stuff gone? So then I started looking back at the older stuff that I hadn't seen before, going back to the 60s and the 70s, and a lot of points in the 80s that I missed, and really started getting back into it, and then drawing all these parallel connections. Like that show I saw that came out in 2003 that sucked really relates back to this show that came out in 1986. Oh God, that's awesome. And being able to draw a lot of those parallels, and people come up to me and they're like, oh, have you seen such and such? I'm like, oh yeah, I've watched a couple episodes. It's a lot like this back here. And, being able to turn fans on to new shows through something that they already have exposure with and say, yeah, if you like that, go back here and check this out too, because it's really good.
How many of you have been fans for more than 20 years? Anybody? More than 20 years.
You're a liar.
All right, so how many of you have been fans for between 10 and 15 years? Yeah. Find those 20-year-old guys and ask them about the stuff they watched when they got into it.
Yeah.
You're going to find some really cool stuff that you didn't know existed.
But sometimes, though, when you go back and look at your old stuff, it's like, why?
We got a whole panel, we got a whole slide about that.
Yes.
In fact, this it offers rewarding look at stereotypes, or stereotypes
When did it
is not
come out?
really the word I should put there.
90.
That persist into recent media.
Yeah.
So
Archetypes is a good word too.
yeah, you can watch the Gynax boob bounce come out in Gunbuster for the first time, and you go, "Hey, I know where that is now." And you can see the Oscar archetype in Gunbuster for Evangelion, that kind of stuff, and it really makes watching the new stuff kind of a lot more fun.
Plus, when you watch Gunbuster, you get to watch Gynax not suck at something.
Or draw on garbage bags.
Yeah. For those of us who got into anime through Toonami and things like Robotech, go back and watch the original Japanese.
Thank you.
All right, if you got into Robotech, go watch Macross. You'll thank me.
Macross.
I love Peter.
Except for you know what? You can skip Southern Cross.
Yeah.
That kind of it's that kind of knowledge from the older guys that have been in it longer than you. There's always somebody that's been in it longer, and they've always watched older stuff.
Oh yeah, if you like volunteer at a convention, be a video watcher, because sometimes they'll put you in like an older animation and be like, "That's actually really good."
Oh yeah.
And so I learned a lot of
Mind the video room.
that I never watched.
You get to sit in a small, air-conditioned, dark room where you don't have to deal with people and you watch cartoons all day. It's kind of neat until they forget about you.
It's volunteer job.
It is one of the easiest volunteer jobs that nobody wants to
It's
do.
pretty easy, too.
What do we have next? Like Christmas.
Oh, not this one. No.
All right, this is what y'all are going to lynch us on. I know it.
Nah, I think I have to agree with this.
Okay, so defining fandom, setting boundaries. All right, we're going to delve into that personal life.
Already there.
Sure, I like to shoot guns, but we realize that talking about it excessively in the wrong scenarios makes people really uncomfortable. Cartoons can do much of the same thing. Okay, so if you're a big tennis player, everybody doesn't want to always hear about your last tennis match. The guys in the office don't always want to hear about that last cartoon you watched.
Well, maybe you don't.
My people left.
So just remember that it's a hobby just like anything else, and you can get lost in it, and then you're that guy. Don't be that guy.
Or that gal.
Or that gal. I said, this one's fun. There's no anime posters in my living room, but I do have an anime coffee mug now.
Yep.
I go to some of my friends' houses that we went to college with, and they still have their Tenchi Muyo wall scrolls up in their living rooms, right next to the pictures of their 5-year-olds. That's great and all. Like, it's really cool until you go over there for a barbecue and there's other people, and they're like, what is that shit?
See, this is why my husband and I save our anime posters for a certain section in our bedroom.
Yeah, Drew has a library that he has all of his posters in.
Yeah.
I have them all in my home office where nobody else goes. Yes.
Yeah, I own my house and I have my office, and my entire house, I'm an interior decorator, so it looks really nice. And then there's just a door, and it says "Do not disturb" unless the door is open. And you open it, and it's completely filled with wall scrolls, posters,
Yep.
figurines.
Have a nerd cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can concentrate all of your fandom into one little room, and then you just get it all at once. You just, I know that.
That's where you go to escape to after this
just go in
crappy
there and
day.
look around. Exactly. Yes.
I think if you're an anime fan and you have a kid, anime is a good way to relate to your kids.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Anime is a great way to find something that you and your kids are going to agree on, for the most part. They're not going to like the same stuff you watch, and you're not going to watch some of the same things.
Yeah, some families
You don't want your
are
kids
different,
watching, Bible Black, but but I agree with you. It's a great way to connect with kids because the kids are going to get into it, and like anything else, you may as well help them get into it and nurture that rather than just let them.
Pokemon.
You can do it.
Yeah, naming the Pokemon before your son can name them brings your cool factor up
With your kid.
real high.
Until they're about 13, and then that's no.
That actually happened with me. My dad was really into the Robotech when the cut up and American Robotech dub, and it was his first real exposure. And he watched it with my mom. It's the only anime she ever watched because of the love triangle in it. And I was a kid. It was kind of cool, but it was weird. I didn't really like it. I like my American cartoon. But then I got older, and I got into it. I really got into it, and it could be connected.
You can connect with your parents on it. My parents did it to me not with cartoons, with Star Trek. Thursday nights was TNG and pizza night, man, every week.
Connecting with anime, just like anything else, like a
Model
Disney
building or Disney cartoons.
Disney cartoons is a good thing. Model building, any of that stuff that has a really far-reaching it has a really far-reaching demographic, and that makes it a really good opportunity
And
to
get into a
connect
wide
with
range of things. I agree. Definitely agree. Stop wearing those shirts. Right or wrong, people will judge you. If you wear a shirt with a nerve leaf on it, everybody's going to go, what's that mean? And you're going to have to explain, hey, I like Japanese cartoons, and it's from a cartoon.
There's a reason I stopped wearing a Trigun shirt.
Right? It's a Mega Tokyo shirt from way back in the day. I don't ever wear it to work. Ever. Even though I can wear t-shirts, because people will stop me non-stop. What does that say? Stop and wait right here. I'm in the meeting. What does that say? It's terrible.
There are some good shirts that hide your power level.
True. Pick up your collared shirt real quick. We said no porn, we meant on TV. He's got a Magnificent 7 shirt from Giant Robo.
Magnificent 10 from Giant Robo.
From Giant Robo, right?
A robot anime that's so cool, I had passed a law saying that robot anime can't be this cool anymore.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll wear my, I do have a giant nerve leaf shirt, right? It's usually underneath this shirt. Mine says Miskatonic right now, but otherwise I'd show you. He wears his Animego shirt under your collared shirts all the time, right? Just because you don't have to not wear the t-shirt that you want to wear, because as soon as you get off work, nerd.
I'm going to the bar, I don't care.
Exactly. Something for the younger kids that are starting to get into convention, we said, hey, staff a convention, staff it at a higher level. For the most part, convention experience is not equal to work experience. And writing that I'm a director for this convention on your resume doesn't really help you. I own a convention, and it's not on my resume. People will look at you really weird. No matter how much work you put in. I work 80 hours a week on this.
And no matter how many business terms and apply it to the job that you're applying for, you can stress saying, yes, I run this convention. It's always going to focus back to, what's your convention about? Oh, well, it's a weekend of Japanese cartoons. And they're like, oh.
Yeah, if it's a cybersecurity convention, it's great and it works. If it's Japanese cartoons, it's pretty much instantly discredited. I know of very few places where you can actually get a job doing that.
So they're anime fan too.
If your boss is an anime fan, that helps. I know somebody got a job with the Air Force because she's the track director at Dragon Con, setting up training events. And I know somebody else who got a job setting up events because she's a convention runner for a startup company, or a company that brings venture capitalists and startups together. So they have these big, conventions where everybody can meet. They set that up, but there's a very limited market for that.
So if you go into event planning and conventioning, you can use your anime convention experience. But if you're going to be the IT sysadmin,
writing that you're the security director for a convention is probably not going to help you there. And English, do you speak it?
Kawaii and des should not be in your vernacular.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please don't put them in your emails.
Oh, especially
No. I had somebody who works for me put des in an email, and that was a quick conversation.
Yeah, I've had coworkers who were anime fans, and we've joked like that over like IRC and AIM while we were in the office, and we know that we're just making fun of each other, and it's cool. But anytime we had to send an email for a request or anything like that, it was always strictly professional. I don't speak Japanese unless I'm doing the entire thing in Japanese, or I'm really drunk and doing the entire thing in Japanese.
He's really not joking. When he drinks a lot, he slips into Japanese.
And it's hard to come out.
Yeah. And German. They'll mix them.
Yes.
Now that's a strange mix. German and...
Drew's living in the 40s.
Yeah.
Okay, so a fun thing is taking a critical look at the cartoons we know and love. This is what you said earlier, where you watch some of the stuff you've watched when you watched it before, and you go, "Oh, I thought that was way cooler."
Okay, G.I. Joe.
Yeah. So we'll start with not everything that comes out of Japan is gold. There's crap that comes out of Japan.
Yep.
Right below it is, it's okay to like that crap, but you just have to admit it.
Right. What was it we were talking about? Queensblade.
Yeah.
If you like Queensblade, that's cool. Just admit that you like Queensblade because you like titties.
Exactly. Hang a lantern on it, right? I watch this because there's titties. Great. Have fun with that. I'm going to be downstairs. Admit it. Let's move on. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself and your fandom. All right. I like really girly manga. I do. I've been made fun of by manga creators for liking the girliest manga ever.
Fruits basket.
Drew likes everything shit from the 70s, no matter how bad it is.
Especially if it's mecha?
Especially
Primarily mecha, yes.
He likes it so much, we started a classic anime podcast, and we basically rag on it for an hour.
Yes.
Admit it. It's fun. Laugh at it.
I think I just...
Admit you watch some porn. Everybody does.
At least once.
Yeah. Don't try to deny it.
Some people make a habit out of it. Others
Some
don't.
people make an addiction.
Yeah.
All right, nostalgia can be a good thing, but most often it's not. Drew likes this thing called Crusher Joe. It's got a really awesomely drawn disco scene. No, it's not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Crusher Joe is an old movie from the early 80s. It's a sci-fi movie. It's based by, or created by the guy who wrote Dirty Pair. And it's about galactic bounty hunters and everything like that.
It's mediocre as a show.
No, awesome.
So,
So, Mark, tell us about Please Save My Earth, because you love Please Save My Earth, because it's so good.
I like it. It reminds me of being in high school.
I'm just saying there's a giant cat and a bunch of talk about AIDS.
Yeah, I know, right? Space AIDS. It reminds me of high school. Don't ask. See, so you can have fun with it. You get with your, other old fans, and you find out what they like that's absolute crap, and you give each other equal crap about it. It's a lot of fun. Admit it. And they go on.
Yeah.
Once your mind is blown by something, it's hard to blow it again. Ava is way less cool the fifth time around.
See your thesis about Schopenhauer and Evangelion.
So it's It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, there are some things that have that really high rewatch value. Like Project Echo is a film that I love. I discovered it very early in my anime fandom. I'm still watching it over and over again now, and I'm still finding new things about it.
Bubblegum Crisis is also.
Bubblegum Crisis is awesome.
Yeah. Even with the bad dub, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Dude, Dirty Pair's like that too, because that's just fun.
Yes.
But some of the things I watched, like Please Save My Earth, when I watched it the first time, I thought it was the coolest, angstiest thing of things that was ever invented. We watched it for the podcast, and I was almost shot.
Yeah. We were like, this is terrible. Why did you recommend this? And you're like, I remember this being good. What happened?
Yeah. I got, what is it? I was deported to the other side of the room and had to yell at the microphone for the rest of the podcast so you can watch that. So the last part of that is, remember, they're just cartoons. Okay.
I think we go.
Is that one more? Last slide. Wow, this actually timed well.
Yeah.
Drinking in fandom.
Yeah. You under 21s take good notes.
I'm recording it.
Drinking does. So the introduction to this: drinking does not make you cool. Don't be a tool shed. Just because you're 21 doesn't mean you can drink like the professionals.
Most of the time, you can't.
We have to say that, or the con will get mad. No, seriously. Don't get sloppy drunk and run around and hit on 14-year-olds. Please. Don't get sloppy drunk and throw up on the, artist alley tables.
Don't get so sloppy drunk that your friends have to carry you out of the restroom at 2 in the morning.
Yes.
Don't get so sloppy drunk that your friends have to take care of you in the hotel room.
That's pretty standard, though.
Yeah, but I think what I'm hearing is, don't be a sloppy drunk.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't be a sloppy drunk and put your head through the hotel room.
You're old enough. You're old enough to control your liquor.
That comes to number 2. Taste. Yes, booze is expensive, but you don't always have to drink well. And like anime, there's lots of crap out there. Yeah. I drink well gin because I'm a dirty old man. And I like the taste of bad decisions.
I like to be reminded of that time I went to the horse track.
Yeah, I know, right? Drink your bad stuff, but, treat yourself every now and again. I'm just telling people about getting an alcoholic now.
Yeah. It's important in fandom.
Yeah, at the show, etiquette, don't be the town drunk. Comes back to don't be sloppy drunk. Don't just, get ridiculous and walk around and make an ass of yourself and if security knows who you are, you're doing something wrong. You can enhance your weekend with booze if you want to, but, in moderation. Get your buzz, don't get stupid. You're an adult. Leave that for the kids.
Yep. Well, be sure to tip your bar and waitstaff.
Yes.
They take much better care of you, imagine that.
Oh, man. Don't do what I did here 2 years ago, and I can't talk about it here, but I'll tell you a story later. Remind me.
All right.
I got really drunk and called the bar manager a very bad name. Okay, so faux pas and common pitfalls to drinking at conventions. Learning to drink adult drinks. They're hotel bars. No Jaeger bombs, lemon drops, blue motorcycles, or sexes on the beach.
If the name sounds like it's fun and not a list of ingredients, you're doing it wrong.
So the only martini acceptable is a martini.
Yeah, no appletinis or whatever else.
This is us being jackasses now, by the way.
And that's only at the hotel bar, which you make in your room?
Yeah, like seriously, that's our thing. Like, don't go to the hotel bar and order a Jaeger bomb. They will look at you and be upset, and it ruins their night. So, be nice to the hotel staff. They're nice to us for the most part. And sake is not God's gift to boozing.
Exactly.
It's not. I can't stand it.
I'd say tequila is.
I did last night.
Tequila and I are really good friends.
So that's panel. Yay! Any questions, comments?
We got 10 minutes.
Yes?
I got a comment. If you do drink and you go, if you go into a convention, they're like, well, that's a stupid rule. Why do they have it? It's probably because the drunk person did something to create a new stupid rule. So, yeah, don't get drunk and create a new policy that normal people are like, why the hell can't we do that?
let's look at it at the purely practical level. Why should you spend that much money for a convention and to have fun if you're not going to remember the damn thing?
There is an entire 5-hour segment of Dragon Con that I do not remember, and I do not know how I made it back to my room.
Yeah, I lost track of it.
Seriously. I wrestled with myself in an elevator. That's all I know.
Who won?
Wait, which hotel were you in?
When you bet people that you're so drunk the bar won't serve you, you should probably stop being served.
I have a good question.
Yeah.
I guess it's just kind of a question for everybody, even in case somebody doesn't know. How do you go about, as an adult, finding other people who like anime, not at a con?
Not at a con. As an adult, how do you find people that like anime? That's a really good one. Find a forum. Find a blog. Find a podcast. I'm sorry, what was it? Contact a fan subbing group.
Go to cosplay.com. It's so common that you'll find people in your area and be like, hey, let's hang out.
Yeah.
So I went to cosplay.com.
So Facebook's a good way.
Twitter.
Yeah, I found people by starting an anime convention, so that doesn't really count.
Well, it counts. It's just not recommended.
Yeah.
Anime clubs.
So
anime clubs are good. Yeah.
Anime-source.com is a pretty regionally sized forum. There's a lot of people on there. Find a convention. Get on the convention that you like to go to forums, right? Because those are people that are at least willing to drive to somewhere that you're willing to drive, and you share the same reasonable likes and dislikes. So AWA forums are where we find, we found some friends on there. Dirty old crotchety men that started watching anime in the 70s, and they were really fun to hang out with. So yeah, get on the convention forums that you go to. There's a lot of people on there, and a lot of people, you have to wade through a lot of kid stuff, but you'll know when you find somebody who's, you're clicking with. That's really the best advice I can give to convention forums. There's a high chance that you all live near each other too. So it resolves a lot of, hey, you're really cool, let's hang out. I live in Seattle. I live in Jacksonville. Yeah, yeah. Fun, cool. Good question. Anything else? Good question? Interior designer got her hand up?
Oh, I was just going to mention, my boyfriend who's sitting right here, we met online on OkCupid, believe it or not.
See? Found the anime fans on a dating website.
Yeah. Well,
so geek.
The funny part is that my profile was completely professional and his was dorked out completely into otakuism.
You're finding our argument. Stop it. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, but on the site they do have a thing where it says not looking for a relationship, just looking for friends, and so if you're going to a con or something, you can meet them and then you can see their picture and see how they write stuff about themselves, which is important. Because if they're talking about how much hentai they watch, you don't want to ruin with them.
I thought that was an NSA board. Who just put their hand up?
What's the name of your podcast?
Akihabara Renditions. He has cards.
Yes.
Woo! Cards. Go cards.
We still have 6 minutes. Anything else?
That needs to be added onto the last slide of your presentation.
My favorite anime right now? I don't watch cartoons anymore. I don't have time. No.
Where are you?
I still like Orange Road, man. I love that show. Like this much.
Picked up the
Nobody
entire
likes
thing
that.
on VHS.
Screw y'all.
No, I actually just picked up that entire thing on VHS on eBay for like $15.
Nice. Have you seen it before?
No.
You're gonna love it. Elzar is also one of my favorites.
I still have.
You'll spend an inordinate amount of money to buy it, but it's $300 for 3 discs. Not lying.
Has anybody heard of Portal Touch?
Oh, he loves the baseball show.
That's another one I'm watching.
100 episodes, well worth it.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm watching High School of the Dead right now.
I love this show.
I'm watching it for the titties. Like, I'm gonna be honest.
Too stupid.
No, it's really bad. I watch that while I do work as background noise. I look over and go, oh, okay.
Thank you for admitting that it's bad.
There's boobs there. Yeah, that's about it.
How about you ever seen Italian?
I refuse to watch Italian.
Thank you.
How about Neurazio?
I'm not a 14-year-old girl. I'm not allowed to watch Italia.
Character on This character in awesome anime. You should see it. If you like anything like Inuyasha or anything like that.
I like Rurouni Kenshin. I still like Rurouni Kenshin. Like next year's the 20th.
They're redoing it.
This is the 15th anniversary of that show. Now y'all feel old.
Did you see
I don't.
the new animation part for it in September?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're redoing something for it. I don't know if it's like a new art or something.
Video Girl Eye. There you go.
Okay.
20 years old.
I like Greenland. Y'all. It's a cute old hentai. It's one of the first ones. It's classy. I'm gonna go pants watch that one actually. Yeah. What's your favorite? What's your favorite old anime?
Honestly,
Gotcha.
I don't remember how old it is, but Ushio and Tora.
Okay. Rosa Versailles. What favorite?
I just heard Ronin Warriors.
Crescent Stars.
I want to say Riding Beam, but that was just kind of fun to watch.
Come on. World War II in space.
Space Emperors.
Yeah.
Personally,
Victory.
Okay. So old is something that's really relative. What the stuff I watched when I got into it in the 90s is now